Now we're recording, and now 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Yeah.
This is not the sideshow.
Yeah.
This is not the undercard.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the main event.
Yeah.
Ryan Baldwin here, ready to talk sports with my right-hand man sitting at my left-hand side, the Teflon talker, the colossus of charisma, the boy wonder, Mason Shepherd.
Yeah. 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 Let me talk to ya.
Man, we've got this down to a science
Yes,
now.
we do. I mean, it's important. We've been doing this long enough. So, but how you doing, man? It's rainy.
Dude, there is nothing that makes me want to stay in bed all day more than waking up. And it's, especially once you start hitting October and November rain
Yeah.
and it starts getting a little cold outside, I'm like, give me a glass of hot cocoa
Yeah.
with a little bit of like whiskey on it or Bailey's on the side there. Warm me up on the inside, a book or a TV series, depending on what I'm feeling, and let me stay in bed all day. And it pained me to have to roll out of bed for my 9 a.m. class today.
Oh,
Hated it.
a 9 a.m. or
9 a.m. on this day
on
of
a
all
rainy
days.
day. No, dude, seriously, like I was contemplating. I was walking down here, and I was like, when I go back to my dorm after this is over, do I really want to do homework? Like, it's so nice right now.
Nah, dude. Call of Duty is about to drop. They released the campaign early, played through it all yesterday. Masterpiece. I'm ready.
Yep. Speaking of masterpieces, how about we talk about some football, bruh? How about we do that?
Hold on, let me scroll through the scores because I didn't see any masterpieces.
Well, no, college football by itself, it's a masterpiece, man.
Oh, I see.
See?
Well, let's run through it real quick because most of it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
LSU beating Ole Miss. You mentioned it last week. Going into Death Valley is going to be tough.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss actually were up 14-3
Yeah.
after the first quarter, and then got outscored 42-6 in the next 3 quarters.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, especially in college ball, the environment where you play matters. And teams who, LSU, aren't they like 25 or like?
They moved up in the rankings
Yeah.
this week. I think the SEC now has 7 teams in the top 25, by the way.
Why am I not
LSU
surprised?
is 18.
18. So like LSU, they were ranked in like the 20s when they played this game. And it's one of those.
Oh, they were unranked. Coming into Ole Miss, yeah.
Fair enough. But I think where with LSU going into Death Valley, it's one of the hardest places to play. I don't care who you are, Alabama included. I don't care who you are. It is hard to beat them in Death Valley. So I knew with Ole Miss going there, I knew it was going to be a game, but I did not expect a beating. And that's what we got in the last 3 quarters. So
Clemson barely was able to hang on against Syracuse, and credits to Syracuse, but it also kind of showed that Clemson is the better team overall to come back and win that game.
well, I mean, it's Clemson and Syracuse.
I mean,
That wasn't up for debate.
you can't argue that Syracuse isn't a good team this
No,
year.
I'm not saying no. I don't want that to be taken that way. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is 9 times out of 10, if it's Clemson and Syracuse, even if it's close like that game was, Clemson will win. It's just unfortunately how it is. But Syracuse showed me in that game that they look I won't say legit, but they don't look like a pretender.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So congratulations to them on almost beating the national champions from a few years ago, not recently. I still don't know why they're ranked, but whatever.
TCU staying perfect against 17 Kansas State. Max Duggan, my
Dougie Duggan, yeah.
my
do the
least
Duggan
hyped guy that should be getting more Heisman hype. He has thrown 19 touchdowns and 1 interception on the year so far.
Yeah.
I think if TCU can finish out the rest of the year undefeated, he should win the Heisman based on his play.
That shouldn't be a question. And I feel like it's like you said, if he continues to put up this level of production and TCU is continuing to steamroll teams because they're not beating softballs.
No, this was their, I think, 4th ranked win
Yeah.
this season.
Because they beat Kansas when they
beat
played them.
OU at 18, Kansas at 19,
Yep.
Oklahoma State at 8,
Yep.
Kansas State at 17, and they still got West Virginia, Texas Tech, Texas Baylor, and Iowa State, none of who are ranked right now.
No.
Maybe Texas sneaks back in, but yeah, I mean, it's your 4th ranked win in a row.
Oh, yeah.
So they've been knocking off teams left and right.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, congratulations to TCU. They're putting quite a juggernaut together.
Mm-hmm.
That offense is stacked with great fast wideouts with solid hands, with a great quarterback, and that defense swarms to the football and is hard hitting and fast. So TCU college football playoffs you need maybe keep your dials tuned to TCU. I'm not saying they'll beat Bama or anything, but I'm just saying, like, you never know. TCU's putting a team together.
And this is Sonny Dykes' first year at TCU, and he's 7-0. It's a good start.
It's a very good start.
Oregon took down UCLA 10-9.
Wasn't really surprised by that. Again, that was a game we talked about last week. We're like, are they playing in Eugene? And it was like, yeah, okay.
Plus, I mean, UCLA was 9 because they were undefeated, but this was really one of their first big tests too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, your Longhorns did not go up to Stillwater and come back with a win.
No, we did not. That game. Look, we saw what happens when a guy who hasn't played football in 3 years in a row, really, because he left high school when he was a junior, and then senior, so he didn't play then. So then, like, the senior year and then his freshman year, technically, didn't play it down. So it was like, he'll get better. I still feel like he's the man for the future. But yeah, he went up there, didn't have really good connections with his wide receivers, had a lot of overthrows. Like, I think he might have set a record for that, probably, just because it was just like, it was very blatant that he wasn't in a rhythm, that he wasn't in a groove. So, yeah, it was a rough game for Texas. Bijan still played really well. Roshan, those two are great. But the offense didn't play well as a whole. The defense, it was a frustrating day as a Longhorn fan.
Bijan, first round draft, probably somewhere.
Not even a question.
Even as a running back, because I know teams don't like running backs in the first round
I feel like if a team is smart, because
even Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker last year went in the second round.
Breece Hall's hurt right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like if someone is smart, then no, he won't go first round, but I feel like he will, just because, look, best running back in college football to me. That's not a question. And he could be someone, and this, another reason why I kind of hated the loss. Now, Texas can still make CFP if we win out, which we won't, but I feel like Bijan could really make a strong run for Heisman if we win out, which we won't. So basically, his Heisman chances are, like, they exist, but it's not going to materialize like Duggan's. So
right,
but he's still the best running back in college football.
And interestingly enough, we didn't touch on this last time because it kind of flew under the radar. Tulane was ranked 25.
I saw that.
They beat Memphis, and they moved up to 23.
I'm not going to lie. When I saw that, I thought about you. I was like, Ryan hates this.
Why would I hate it?
Like, Tulane is ranked.
Look, are they it's one. I've already spoken on this. I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
That's what I'm saying.
Is Tulane really the 25th best team in the country? Probably not. I did think it was interesting that before this, when the last time they were ranked was? 1998.
The fact that they were even ranked in the 90s kind of surprises me.
And they finished that year ranked number 7, which I guarantee you, there is you want to get me hot and bothered? You trying to tell me that Tulane was ranked number 7?
Yeah, in 1998.
I know. Okay, that was really back to when, like, the Big 12 was kind of like the conference. SEC was still good, but it wasn't like powerhouse SEC that we know and love today.
No, not even,
because I think that was back when Nebraska was in the Big 12 too. So, and Nebraska in the 90s was like not. It was not the Nebraska of today.
No. They actually played football. So,
but they won, and now they're 23. So go Tulane. Congratulations.
The only person to come out of there with any notoriety. Matt Forte. It's the only person.
So that leaves the top 6 unchanged going into this week. Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Michigan, Clemson, Bama. And the rest of your top 12 is rounded out with 7 TCU. So they moved up a spot. Oregon moved up 2 spots to 8. Oklahoma State moved up 2 spots to 9. USC moved up 2 spots to 10. Wake Forest jumped up to number 11. and UCLA dropped to number 12. And, of course, the big matchup this week, quote-unquote big, because I'm pretty sure I know how this one's going to go, to Ohio State. Now, they are visiting Penn State, and I bet you that's the whiteout game.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%.
I still think Ohio State is going to beat them.
Probably.
But this would be one of the first games looking at Ohio State going like, there's a chance. There's a chance.
I'm rooting for Penn State. Hope they can get the job done.
Florida visiting Georgia could be kind of interesting. I think Georgia's still the much better team.
Depending on where it's played.
It's in Georgia, so.
Nah.
No, wait. This has Georgia listed as the home team, but it says ESPN saying it's being played in Jacksonville, Florida for some reason. But it's got Georgia listed as the home team. I'm confused. Okay. ESPN, whatever you say. Anyway, and TCU's playing West Virginia on the road. If TCU shows up to play, they should probably roll through West Virginia. 9, Oklahoma State visiting 22, Kansas State. I could see this being one Oklahoma State drops.
Potentially. If they're visiting Kansas State.
Yes. And 19, Kentucky visiting 3, Tennessee.
Ooh.
But Tennessee will be at home in Knoxville.
But Kentucky's not that far from Tennessee in general.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's kind of the same thing with Florida and Georgia. Well, not really, but it's actually kind of because it's kind of like home game for both. But one team is more like directly from there. Mm-hmm. That Kentucky-Tennessee game might be pretty interesting.
It has potential to be good. And then most years, I would say this is a big game, but Michigan State visiting Michigan. Michigan State is not good this year.
I think it's a big game for the atmosphere.
Sure, it's always going to be a big game for just the rivalry. But in terms of quality of game...
Yeah, no, Michigan should take that. So...
Well, here's your college football roundup. We're combining football in one big football segment. So for this week, let's move on into the NFL. Thursday night football was actually better than the last 2 Thursday nights.
Thankfully.
Kyler Murray finally threw a touchdown pass. Thank you for helping my fantasy team finally and actually throwing a touchdown. The biggest surprise for me, two big surprises. Commanders taking down the Packers, because I think that really shows that, there was some questions about the Packers for the first 4 or 5 weeks. Now you're like, what's going on with the Packers right now? And I'm not sure if I've never thought that a receiver could have that much impact on a team, but it really looks like compared to last year, Devontae Adams carried a lot of that team and made Aaron Rodgers look really good.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off that, I think what we're experiencing with Green Bay is there's a lack of chemistry on that team that runs deep.
Anytime your quarterback comes out and starts trash talking your receivers before the season, that's probably going to cause some chemistry issues.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things about playing with Aaron Rodgers that I feel like affects the Packers more than they realize. And I think that might be the reason they wanted him out of there. Was just it's like, when you talk trash, like you said, about your receiving core before the season starts, it's like, what do you expect? So who knows? Maybe Minnesota, maybe Kirk Cousins will play them when they get that chance and go, I own you, and then have Aaron Rodgers like, oh man. But no, in all seriousness, it's like that game surprised me just because the Commanders are the worst team in the NFC East right now, which is arguably the best division in football and in the NFL. And it's right now, it's just like, they were able to get one up on the Packers. That means Dallas has a chance.
Yeah, and the other one that really surprised me was the Panthers.
Yep, they beat the Bucs
21-3 over Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. A Bakerless, Darnoldless, McCaffrey-less Panthers.
Yep.
Beat the Buccaneers 21-3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Deontay Foreman, I think that's how you pronounce it. Deontay Foreman.
Yeah.
15 carries, 118 yards.
Wait, did you say is it D''ONTA?
Yeah.
He played at Texas.
Okay.
He was one of the he was a running back that also Heisman potential.
Did I pronounce that right, Deontay?
Yeah, it's Deontay. It's Deontay Foreman.
Okay. And Chuba Hubbard, who is like arguably probably like
the number one now that, McCaffrey's gone.
Apparently not, because Foreman carried it 15 times and Hubbard only carried it 9.
Yeah. I think they're still working him in, but
they whipped Brady and the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
They only scored 3 points, and that was in the fourth quarter.
Let's just look at it like this. Tom Brady came back and sacrificed a lot professionally and personally to lose the way that he's losing right now, because they're 2-5, right?
They're 3-4. But
3-4.
The Panthers are 2-5. But this I can't make sense of the NFL this year, and it's bothering me because this is a team that absolutely backhanded us in week 1, kicked our butt 6 ways a Sunday, and then they can't put up more than 3 points against the Panthers?
Nope.
The Carolina freaking Panthers?
Antonio Brown tweeted, Tom Booty. So
I cannot figure out what the heck's going on.
I can't either. I saw that. I was like, is Brady about to lose? I was like, nah, it's Tom. And, they've had a rough couple weeks, but they'll come back. And they didn't. They did not come back. They lost. Oh, my gosh. That Mike Evans drop. Oh, my gosh.
I have no idea what's happening.
The drop scene around the world, man.
And then, of course, the boys picking up a 24-6 win over the Lions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So each week on Twitter,
oh my God,
at rbaldwin7032, one of the ticket hosts, the morning ticket host, Craig, quote unquote, Junior Miller, he does not buy into the Cowboys, and somebody created a meme, and it's a book that says Craig Miller's Guide to Never Buying Into the Cowboys Again, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so each week, based on, how I said that I am not buying into the Cowboys this year.
Yeah.
I have posted the picture and the reason for that week why I'm not buying into the Cowboys again. And it's because this Cowboys offense against the Lions, which gives up an average of 34 points going into that game.
Couldn't put up
more than 24. And they needed 5 second-half turnovers. 5 second-half turnovers to get to 24. I know it's Dak's first game back, and I thought I predicted a Cowboys win 20-13 on Sunday's show at the ticket.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was pretty close, 24-6.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Dak to be great. I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah.
19 for 25, 207 yards, and a touchdown. Sacked twice, but I expect Dak to hold the ball too long a couple times to get sacked at least. Pollard had a pretty good game, 12 carries, 83 yards.
TP, the playmaker.
Ezekiel Elliott had a okay game.
He had a pretty good game,
averaging 4 yards a carry and 2 touchdowns. There was nothing about this team that made me go like, okay, this team is not good. But there's nothing about this team that made me go, okay, it's the Dak's back, it's our time, because it's not.
No, we still had too many penalties too. We just got lucky that the Lions had more turnovers than, more turnovers, but their turnovers meant more than our penalties did.
Jared Goff, 2 INTs and 2 fumbles, and Jamal Williams with the lost fumble as well. And Dak will probably get a little bit better as he gets more reps in, because that's the other thing I'll give him. I'm like, look, before week 1, you had no preseason reps.
Nope.
And then you had no reps between when you injured your thumb in preseason or in week 1 and week 7.
Yep.
So I get it. You're going to be a little rusty. But I'm I'm maintaining that I am not bought in, because I don't think this team beats the Eagles last week, even with Dak in there.
Like that, no.
I still don't think this Dak last week beats the Eagles.
No.
And I'm concerned that last week the Eagles laid out a solid game plan that other teams with mobile quarterbacks can copy on how to beat the Cowboys defense if you can run the read option off of Micah Parsons. Now, the nice thing is that most of the Cowboys' remaining games will probably not feature a mobile quarterback, because they're playing the Bears. Now, the Bears could be an interesting matchup because Justin Fields can certainly do that to you.
Where are they playing?
Home.
Okay, that's good.
Then you go up to the Packers.
Yeah.
Which that's we talked about that. That's the Cowboys in Lambeau in November. I don't like that.
Nope.
But the way the Packers are looking, you might win that one. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins isn't going to run the read option.
No.
The Giants, Daniel Jones could run the read option. He's a decently mobile quarterback.
Yeah. Plus, their defense is incredible.
And then you've got Colts, Texans, Jaguars. None of those will do that. But then you have to play the Eagles again at home. And if you don't think they're going to be doing that same thing, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Titans, same thing. And then Commanders, maybe Heineke can run the read option. So here's the good thing. The good thing is your defense plays really well against everything but what the Eagles did to you.
Yep.
The bad news is you will probably have to play a team like the Eagles or, to get to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You may luck out and you may win a wild card against the team, but I think eventually you're going to have to get through the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl.
100%.
And I'm not sure that they can do that, especially with the news coming down today that Cowboys cornerback Jordan Lewis is going to be out for the season with a broken bone in the middle of his foot. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's named after a French doctor. I think it's Lefranc, something like that. So he'll be out. And the trade deadline is a week from today. So you have a week to make a move if you feel like you need to make a move, or if you need to feel like you make a move for a wide receiver. Personally, I don't really think that there's a move the Cowboys want to make unless they can find a defensive tackle to plug up the middle so they don't get run on all day long. That might help. But outside of a defensive tackle, a true number one wide receiver, which is going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Or a slot cornerback that they can throw out there, I think the Cowboys hold steady.
Yeah.
I don't know about you on your...
I think my thoughts on that are, Dallas, played well enough to beat Detroit. And I think that's the thing. It's like, because I was thinking the same thing. It's like, we couldn't put up more than 24 points.
We were down 6-3 in the first half.
Yeah.
3 points in the first half.
So I think my thing is simply just, Dallas has a lot of work to do. There is a chance with the way it sounds with the teams that we're playing that, we may not run the table, but we may win a good amount on the table. But I think for Dallas, our play calling is atrocious to me. It's very, very predictable. Very, very how many times yesterday was it 1, 2, 3 handoffs, 1, 2, 3 handoffs, 1, 2, 3 and it's just like, no, you can't do that.
And I think what they were trying to do was they were trying to kind of do the same thing that they were doing with Cooper Rush for Dak, at least in his first game back.
Yeah.
But teams are ready for that now. You got to start throwing in the play action on first down or something. Keep them guessing.
Yeah. But I think Dallas is in for some rough games.
So where does that leave us? Well, it leaves the NFC East not as the NFC least anymore, at least not for this season. Hey, that probably, if I had to pick, that would probably go to the NFC South, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Falcons are tied at 3 and 4.
It's the NFC South.
And the Panthers and the Saints are 2 and 5.
Yeah. NFC South.
The AFC East is led by the Bills with the New York Jets, baby, coming in at second, and the Miami Dolphins at third.
Man.
Tua played his first game, by the way.
Yes, he did. I watched that game.
And he didn't die.
No.
I'm not going to lie. I was concerned when I saw he was going to play. I'm like, oh, my God, if he takes another hit, he might just, not get up.
Yeah. But, Tua survived.
Tua survived.
And led the Dolphins to a win.
Ravens and the Bengals tied at 4 and 3 in the AFC North with the Browns and Steelers at 2 and 5. AFC South being led by the Titans after their win over the Colts. And Jaguars 2 and 5. Houston Texans 1 and 4. AFC West being led by the Chiefs and the Chargers and the Raiders and the Broncos. Speaking of the Broncos, dude, they cannot. Will the Russell Wilson trade end up going down as one of the worst trades in the history of the NFL?
Only if Seattle's able to prosper. If Seattle's able to prosper without him, then it's like the Broncos really ate a big one on that one. But if both teams continue to look how they look, not really.
Well, hey, Seattle's 4 and 3 and top of the NFC West.
That's like being the nicest guy in prison at this point. So, but no, I just think Russell has lost his confidence, and I think that it's going to take more than practice and playing games for him to get it back. I think that it's an internal thing that he's going to have to figure out at some point because he has looked like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now.
Agreed.
Russell Wilson has become the Russell Westbrook of the NFL right now.
Oh, I can't wait to talk NBA next segment, by the way. Eagles leading the NFC East with the Giants technically above the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They still sit at 6-1. We do hold the divisional lead over them.
Good.
For now.
Yeah.
And then Commanders in last 3 and 4. The Vikings, the Purple People leaders, 5-1, leading the NFC North with the Packers trailing at 3 and 4, and then the Bears and Lions. And then the NFC West all kind of grouped together. Seahawks are 4-3, and the Rams right behind them at 3-3 with a bye week. Then the 49ers 3-4, and Cardinals 3-4. And yeah, like I said, I can't figure out what the heck's going on in the NFL, but you know what? At least it's entertaining.
Yep. Gotta love entertaining football.
All right, so there is your NFL segment and NCAA. So that'll do it for the football segment. Coming up next, we're going to do NBA as the season is in full swing. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back to the main event.
Yep.
We back.
And
Ryan
we back.
Baldwin, Mason Shepherd.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, but recently the NBA has started back up again. That's the National Basketball Association.
Oh,
for
wow,
anybody
man.
that's
I had
not
no
familiar
idea.
with that one. And much to my delight, the Los Angeles Lakers has started 0-3. Let's go. I love it. We love to see it. Woo!
I'm just gonna every time. Just gonna let you get it out of your system.
Part of why I'm so invested in the Lakers defeat is because of the look it brings on your face when I get excited about it.
Because I know why it is. So I'm just
Why is that? Why is that, Mason Shepherd?
There's a certain player.
Tell me why.
There's a certain player.
Why?
There's a certain player on the Lakers.
And who would that be?
King James. That's who it is.
LeBron James.
Yeah, it's the man with the forehead. I know.
The man that could drag an apparent G League all the way to the NBA Finals and the Cleveland Cavaliers, but can't drag Russell Westbrook into a win in the Western Conference.
Oh, my God.
You know how many times Michael Jordan went 0?
Oh, my God.
Probably at least once, actually. I haven't done the research on.
I would before that conversation comes up.
Oh, man. It's time for basketball. And once again, it's time for the Lakers to do poorly. And also the 76ers to do. But wait a minute. What? 76ers are 0-3? What? That may be actually the most surprising. Like, I kind of expected the Lakers to be pretty bad. I did not expect the 76ers to start off 0-3.
I didn't either. But, I mean, seasons can get off to a rough start, but it doesn't mean it'll stay that way.
Oh, for sure. And vice versa, right? Like, the Jazz are 3-0 after trading away, like, their entire team of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and they started off 3-0. The Trailblazers start off 3-0. That can all turn around really quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this has potential to be an interesting one. I think the top of the conferences will probably end up being mostly the same. There wasn't a whole lot of shakeup, but I think like that 6 through 10 could see quite a bit of variation.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a very interesting season for the NBA, man. I think we're going to see some new teams rise up, and you're going to enjoy watching the Lakers fall down. So, yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting, but I also think that, as far as, like, looking at our Mavs, I think that, what would you say? You think we have a bright future this season, or?
I would say, based on how we started, yeah. Obviously, only 2 games in, Mavs are 1-1. Chris Wood already playing like 6th man of the year with back-to-back
6th man of the year,
back-to-back 20-point efforts and a double-double in his second game.
Yep.
Obviously, he would want to be starting. I think I would like him starting more too, but it's undeniable that he's been really freaking good off the bench.
Yep.
Yeah. So on a Sunday show on the ticket, I had a prediction of it being the Clippers versus the Mavs in the Western Conference Finals. Clippers have Kawhi back for the first time in over a year. PG-13. John Wall, who was actually playing like old John Wall a little bit, looking pretty solid. So I think the Clippers are poised to make a run. The Pelicans could be a surprise team as well. Now, Zion Williamson did go down in their last game with a butt bruise. I believe they were calling it a posterior contusion officially, but, a butt bruise. That's what the article said. It's a posterior contusion. I'm like,
that is such
that's a butt
nice
bruise.
way of putting it.
That's a butt bruise because he landed on his backside after getting a shot blocked. And yeah, I mean, I understand that hurts. I bruised my tailbone once. That sucked.
Oh yeah, bruising your tailbone's not fun.
That sucked. So yeah, if they can get Williamson to stay healthy all the way through the season, I think they'll be strong in the West. In the East, obviously the Celtics, obviously the Bucks are going to be up there. But give me the Cleveland Cavaliers as a dark horse team with Donovan Mitchell leading that young squad.
Yeah.
I think they've got an opportunity there to really make some noise. They've already started off 2-1, been a solid start. The 76ers will make their way back from an 0-3 start. I'm pretty sure. The Heat are 1-2. They're going to be fine. The one team, obviously, that everybody's going to be kind of looking at in the East still is the Brooklyn Nets. How's Kyrie going to play? How's KD going to play? Is the Steve Nash drama of basically not coaching going to keep happening? And you know what? I think it will. I think they're going to be a 7-8 seed again.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't really see anything that's going to change that. And then, of course, I want to touch on it a little bit more because it makes me happy. Russell Westbrook got completely benched in their last game.
Yep.
Straight up benched. Is he done? Honestly, I don't think they can trade him because who's going to take on? I mean, he's in the last year of his contract, but it's still a hefty contract. And who's going to take on Russell Westbrook the way he's playing right now? Mason's asleep because of the rain going on outside.
Yeah, man.
The answer is nobody. Averaging 10.3 points per game, and he is shooting 28.9% from the field.
Dang.
He's shooting 8.3% from beyond the arc. The man has lost it.
Yeah.
Completely.
I don't think he can find it.
He has lost it. It's gone. Ain't no change of scenery that's going to bring it back either. He's done.
Yeah.
Lonnie Walker IV has a better player efficiency rating than Russell Westbrook.
Who?
Lonnie Walker IV. I think he was on the Spurs.
Oh.
Side note, did you know Scottie Pippen's kid is on the Lakers this year?
No, I had no idea.
Scottie Pippen Jr.
That's it's a great name.
And he doesn't really look like Scottie Pippen very much. Maybe a little bit, but
I would not have guessed that's Scotty's kid.
no. It kind of at least he didn't go with Scott, just like Scott Pippen. Cause how
Scott Pippen.
Scott, how LeBron's kid is named Bronny because he didn't want to name him LeBron James.
Yeah.
It's and now on the court, Bronny James. I'm like, whoa.
Bronny James.
Whose kid is that?
And it's you look over and it's sitting next to you for some random reason is LeBron. And he's like, it's my kid. But yeah, Scottie Pippen Jr.
Scottie Pippen Jr. on the Lakers. All right. If you had to pick one team from each conference right now to go to the NBA Finals, who are you predicting? All the way in October 24th.
Yeah, all the way in West. I want to go. Just to spite you, West. I'm just gonna pick the Lakers.
No, you ain't. You okay?
No, I'm joking, but just to spite you. No, that's a good one. I'm trying to think who is all in the West.
Right now, the top 8 is the Jazz, the Blazers, the Pelicans, the Suns, the Warriors, the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Nugs, And then below them, the Grizzlies, Spurs, Mavs, Lakers, Kings, Thunder, Rockets.
I want a Grizzly Jazz matchup. Let's go Grizzly Jazz.
Grizzly Jazz. All right, how about the East?
East, I want to say Cavs. Got to represent the hometown. Cavs and Raptors.
Cavs and Raptors.
Won't happen, but it'd be great to see.
My West was Clippers and Mavs.
Yeah.
And then my East, I believe I said Bucks and Cavaliers. I'd have to go back and double check.
Yeah.
I may have said the Nets. I don't remember. But I believe I had the Bucks going to the NBA Finals versus the Clippers, because the Clippers always have the Mavs number every single time they play in the playoffs, and I don't know if that changes this year if they meet. So, give me Clippers and Bucks in the finals, with the Clippers winning it all. PG-13 and Kawhi get a title together. Meet all the expectations.
PG-13.
All right, there you go. That's your NBA preview. We're going to take a break, come back, and do some sports roundup on the other side. We're back in a bit. Don't go nowhere. All right, welcome back to the main event. Ryan Baldwin's still here. Mason Shepherd still there.
Yeah, I'm still here, folks. I do apologize.
He did some jumping jacks during the break.
Yes, I did.
All right, so last week, October 20th,
Yes.
it was the 26th sports equinox, as there was an NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL game all played on the same day.
Wow.
There was the Saints at the Cardinals, Yankees at Astros, Bucks at 76ers, Clippers at Lakers, and 12 NHL games.
Yeah.
And there was college football playoffs and MLS playoffs. And then somebody else tweeted down a little bit more. So that weekend, 12 NFL games, 27 NBA games, 21 NHL games, 6 ranked college football games, 5 MLB playoff games, 2 MLS playoff games, 9 English Premier League matches, a PGA tournament, the F1 Austin Grand Prix, 6 Cricket World Cup matches, and 2 Rugby World Cup matches.
Wow.
All in one weekend.
That's a whole lot of sports.
That is, maybe, dare I say, too much sports?
Too much sports.
How do you possibly keep up with that?
You add some bowling, some cornhole, even poker. You have the poker
the World Series of
championships.
Poker. There you go. So a great weekend of sports this past weekend.
Wow, that is crazy.
Did you see? Dana White?
Yes.
The
UFC promoter.
UFC promoter. He will be hosting his own Power Slap League in Nevada, which has been approved by the Nevada Athletic
Commission.
So there will now be a UFC slap fight competition, and I will watch just for the fun of it. I will at least watch once, as long as it's not pay-per-view. If it's pay-per-view, I'm gonna slap somebody.
Yeah.
There's no reason that should be pay-per-view.
Well, if it's pay-per-view, the only person who stays in your house is, your partner.
So I could see them like bundling the first view into a pay-per-view fight.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of smart for him to tap into this, just because that's a big, you see it on like Instagram and stuff. Like, it's a big social media grab with like seeing people slap each other in the face and stuff. And like one person stands, the other person
Yep, they just take turns.
Just knocking each other out, slapping each other. So I feel like good on him for getting into this. Also, this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how this catches on.
Last week, Tom Brady had an interesting choice of words.
Yes, he did. It just seems like things go from bad to worse for this man.
And then he apologized for it. But in a podcast...
Podcast? Was it the main event? Did we have Tom Brady on the show?
I don't think so, but let me go back and double check.
Dang it.
He was talking with Kevin Durant.
Oh, no.
On the difficulty of balancing a commitment to being highly successful athletes with life outside of sports, quote unquote. And that's what the article says.
It's quote unquote.
I'm just saying. He said, quote, I almost look at a football season like you're going away on deployment in the military, and it's like, man, here I go again, end quote. Tom Brady compared, and let's be real, he compared it from a quarterback perspective. One of the, like, obviously I know you have to study a lot and you have to know a lot, so there's some high mental functionality to it, and you have to be able to study and stuff. But still, he compared going into a football season to going on deployment in the military. Not like signing up and going to boot camp, but on deployment.
Yeah.
Like overseas somewhere.
Yeah.
There have been some big L's that athletes have said in the past year or so on podcasts. That is definitely up there.
That's a huge L. For Tom Brady,
that is such a terrible take, man.
yes, that's an understatement. Like, imagine you're Tom Brady, right? You leave on a high note. Everybody's praising you. Everybody's telling you how great you are. Everybody tells people what type of cereal you had every morning because, for some reason that's important. Everybody is just giving you your praise and admiration. And you are like, yeah, I'm going to come back. And it's like, okay. So you've already started problems at home, which people are aware of, to the point where more than likely you're getting a divorce.
They're getting divorced. They've hired divorce lawyers, yeah.
So you're getting a divorce because of a decision that you made. You come back, you have a new coach who it's obvious you're taking advantage of because you're not going to a practice. Instead, you're going to a wedding that the coach was not aware of. So you're already taking advantage of him. And then when your team loses, this leads into number 3, you're screaming at your team, but you weren't even there for practice. And so you guys are losing games like the one you lost yesterday. Now, oh my, you say something like this.
And this goes back to, you remember when we did the Summer Sidecard show and we talked about athletes on podcasts?
Yes.
Because that was right when Draymond, said his stupid crap about
Kendrick Perkins.
And this is exactly the kind of thing where I'm like, man, if you talked for a living or were learning how to and learning what to say, what not to say, you would know that there is no way that you can compare being a quarterback in the NFL to going on deployment in the military.
No, I think old Tommy boy, he's just like, you know what? Let's just make my situation. Let's take it from bad to worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he later apologized, but obviously, I mean, it's already out there.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do at that point.
No.
So yeah, way to go, Tom Brady.
Way to go, Tom. You're making your life a lot worse.
Yes, I'm sure trying to dodge defensive ends rushing at you is like having to sit in the foxhole while getting shot at. I'm sure that's exactly the same. Other football adjacency related stuff. Charlie Trippy, the only NFL Hall of Famer with 1,000 passing, rushing, and receiving yards, passed away at 100 years old.
Rest in peace to Trip. Hey, triple digits.
Trippy digits. Charlie Triple. 100 years old.
Charlie Tripp.
Passed away. Man, just imagine. I mean, I know it's a different age because, like, if he died at 100, he's born in 1922, so you're still kind of in that early quarterback era when you're 1940, when you're 18 years old.
Imagine that. Imagine
passing, rushing, and receiving, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine a player like that. Like, obviously, things have changed. He wasn't as athletic, but imagine a player that could do that in today's game.
That player would instantly become the greatest quarterback of all time.
It's kind of like it's almost like a Taysom Hill, but
yes.
But maybe, I don't know, like maybe he was the Taysom Hill of his era, but he was like maybe a better passer. Or something like that. So
rest in peace to Charlie Tripp.
Rest in peace, Charlie Trippy.
Charlie Tripp, take the T off. Rip.
Warner Bros. Discovery Sports has reached long-term contract extensions with the NBA on TNT crew, Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq.
Shaq and a fool, man.
I think I know there was some talk about Charles Barkley going over to do the Live Tour commentating, but I think that was mostly just contract negotiating type deal.
I don't see him doing that.
No, and I think that Warner Bros. Discovery Sports has realized that NBA on TNT is one of their most successful sports deals, and I'm sure they're looking at the ratings when it's not those guys, because I know they have like a B crew that kind of goes in. I think Dwayne Wade, I think, is one of them.
He is.
And I'm sure they're looking at the ratings going like it's nowhere near as good as
Ernie Johnson, Shaq, Kenny the Jet, and Charles Barkley. You can't replace that.
No.
It's not like NFL Network where they can bring in different people and have them be there. You know, it's like these are our main guys. Their chemistry is great. People love watching them.
Well, and it's because they do other stuff too besides just sit there and talk. Like, right? Yeah. When you're looking at the Fox or the CBS crew, pre-game, between games, whatever, they sit there and they analyze games, and there's a little bit of like good back and forth, but they don't do the crazy stuff.
Oh no,
that NBA on TNT does.
Would you equate NBA on TNT with more like College Game Day?
No, because even College Game, maybe. But I think College Game Day still is more like just game preview stuff. Like, when was the last time when was the last time one of the panelists on ESPN Game Day had their pants stolen and they were doing the show with no pants on underneath the desk like Shaq?
I can't believe that they actually let Shaq do that.
Yeah, but that's why it's great though. That's why that it's completely different, and that's why people watch it.
So it's a one-of-one type deal. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and to miss any, and people like, especially back when Chuck and Shaq would like really get into it.
Yes.
People love that, and there's less of that now. And I actually do think it's starting to taper off a little bit. Just watching some episodes last season, I didn't think Shaq was all that involved in it or interested in it, at least compared to what he's done. Usually, you could tell that there's some times where he's just sitting there, not really interacting very much. But yeah, I mean, I still think it's their best sports deal they got going for them right now. So they all get hefty contract extensions. And then last but not least, the chess alleged cheater.
I thought you said last but not least. This is last and least.
Oh, excuse me. Last and least.
There we go.
Alleged chess cheater Hans Niemann files a $100 million lawsuit against Magnus Carlsen and chess.com over cheating allegations. And you may remember this was the one that spread very rapidly all over the internet and sporting world.
Oh yeah.
As it was never proven but expected that Hans Niemann had things of an extracurricular nature that were giving him outside info on what to play. I'll leave it at that for this show. If you're interested, look up the story, but beware, that is a PG-13 story. So he has decided to file a $100 million lawsuit against Magnus Carlsen, the guy that originally accused him of cheating in chess.com, who had posted the story. I assume that it's going to be if it depends on what the lawsuit is, but the problem is if it's like defamation, that's really hard to prove.
Yes.
Because defamation means you have to like know that what you said was untrue.
Yeah.
And that's really easy for Magnus Carlsen to be like, look, I didn't know that it was untrue. And it's really easy for chess.com to be like, we just posted what we heard. We didn't know it was untrue. So it really kind of depends on on what kind of lawsuit he's going for. But I just never thought that a chess cheating allegation and follow-up lawsuit would rock the sports world in such a way.
It rocked the sports world when it's like it rocked the sports world as much as when you throw a rock at like a concrete building. That's how much it rocked it.
I thought it was funny, and I'm going to keep you up.
The reason we know it's funny is unfortunately it's the reason we can't bring up on air.
It's the PG-13 reason. So yeah, just go ahead and take a look at that one. But yeah, there's your sports adjacency roundup. Another week in the books, and that'll do it here for us from the main event. Big thanks to Dan Bala, Mark Lambert for letting us use the Green Studio deep in the heart of Denton, Texas, on the campus of University of North Texas. For Mason Shepherd and Ryan Baldwin, this is the main event. We'll sign it off. See you later.
Yeah.